Hey guys, Dan here from DansTube.TV, and today I'm checking out a really exciting product. This is the Zhiyun Rider M, available from the Zhiyun Tech website. It is a professional 3-axis stabilizing gimbal, and I will have the link in the description below to check this out. The standout feature of the Rider M is the app that's ready to go on your Android device. Now, they said that there will be an iOS version coming out, but at the moment it only works on Android devices with software 4.4 and up. So I got this on my Samsung Galaxy S Tab, and it worked really well. The process was simple. I downloaded the software from their website, the application just kind of came ready to go, and I installed it and basically calibrated my device, set up the update for the software, which was seamless. It just seemed to work. That was great, that I could just connect via Bluetooth and I could update the software and I could calibrate it without connecting to a computer. And then after that, it gives you a monitor report kind of section, which allows you to see the battery voltage and a few other things, but that was very minimal. I would like to see a few more options and monitoring reports there. That was very minimal. I didn't really notice myself using that screen at all, besides when the application launched. So I'd like to see some more improvements there. But then when it comes to the control, so this gimbal here can be controlled through the application, or you can actually control it just through its automated gimbal inbuilt functionality, which is basically a button on the side there. You'll tap it and it'll just set it up in the default follow mode, and then you can mount it to a chest mount, onto a remote control car, onto your car, onto whatever basically. Any mount that you have, set it up and it will just be set into the default follow mode. But if you want a little bit more freedom, if you want to be able to pitch, roll, or pan, then you can actually do that through the application. Now there are options, there are modes, and you have follow, lock, full, or turn, and they're all pretty decent, but they didn't really seem too different. They were all kind of the same. For example, one of them would lock off the roll, or one of them would lock off the pan, or with the turn option, it would literally just turn the camera 180 degrees. So that was decent, I guess, but it didn't really feel like it was a different experience. I noticed myself just going into the normal mode and just kind of controlling it from there, because that allows you to just control everything. Now, the experience with the controls were decent. I would just like to see a few refinements. I would actually like to see some joystick controls. I'd like to see something that's a little easier for the user to maneuver with, something that actually allows you to do everything through a joystick kind of interface. That would be a lot smoother, a lot easier, and it would give us a lot more freedom. At the moment, you've just kind of got these scales or these bars that you just pull between. You can either go down or up, and it's really simple. There's not really too much to it, which is decent, but unfortunately they didn't space it out enough. Oh no. The finger sensors on the scrolling bar are so tiny that sometimes I don't actually make contact with it, which is super annoying when I'm trying to get those smooth shots. I'd like to see them a lot larger so that I can just touch on the option and it will just allow me to enable it straight away. I just felt like that was a bit touchy at times. And like I mentioned, the joystick controls would be fantastic, but this is the early version of the app, and this has only just been released, the Rider M, so I can expect some updates to come out very soon. I'd also like to see some updates to the monitor section. But overall, when you set it up in the default mode, just the follow mode, which doesn't enable the Bluetooth, it basically just sets it up as a gimbal and it will just counteract everything that goes on. It's just perfectly fine. That works really well. That's what we used for a lot of the shots actually, when we use the clamp on the tree, when we use the remote control car, or when we use the extended pole. We just set it up in the default follow mode. I put my tablet away, didn't connect to Bluetooth, and it seemed to work really well. That's where it really excelled. The app is fantastic and I love that they've done that. That's innovative, but I'd like to see some refinements there. The thing that I also noticed as well, compared to the Z1 Evolution, was the precision of the motors. They've definitely refined them and made them a little bit more responsive and robust. They actually provide stronger torque now, so they will actually respond a lot smoother to bigger bumps. So that means that it can deliver buttery smooth footage under harsher conditions, and I can definitely say that I've noticed that compared to the Evolution. The app, like I said, fantastic, and that's the standout feature. The other thing that I really liked is that it can actually rotate up to 650 degrees. That's ridiculous. So you can pan for 650 degrees. When you pitch or when you roll, for example, there are locking points where it won't go too fast so that the motors don't collide with anything. So there are two locking points either side for the axis, but the actual rotation rotation, the pan, that goes 650 degrees, so that's ridiculous. I think there's a shot in here where we actually rotate it around when we're in the car, and it goes 650 degrees, just spins around, and everything's fine. It's super smooth. That was awesome. It also has a really nice compact design now. I've noticed that it's got a metal body, and they actually include an additional 2 batteries. So you have the 2 batteries that it uses, you have the rechargeable kit, and then you also have an additional 2 batteries. And I've been using just the 1 set of batteries so far, and I haven't had to charge them yet. It's been fantastic. So that's great that they add the additional battery set. The gimbal itself actually only weighs 175 grams as well, so it's a tiny little gimbal, super compact and really powerful, but it's got a great design to it. It's not going to get broken easily. It's got a very robust design to it. We did only knock it a few times. There is actually footage in here where the RC car flips and it lands on the gimbal, but it didn't do anything to it. Everything was fine. So that was a really nice little kind of test there to see how durable it is. And obviously a gimbal like this is quite expensive. You're not going to be throwing it around. So that was a test of how it can get knocked around and kind of survive. We tested it in some crazy locations and it seemed to do an amazing job, which was fantastic. On top of that, it has a 1/4-inch screw in the base, so that means that you can screw it onto a tripod or other similar items there. But they also include a GoPro attachment in the pack, so you can screw that in and then you can mount to pretty much anything. Suction cups, chest mounts, head mounts, whatever it is, poles, bloody clamps, it can be anything. It just works really well. And we tested it on a variety of different GoPro accessories and it didn't have an issue at all. It just seemed to calibrate straight away, which was great to see. I liked the fact that it just worked. I didn't have to play around with anything and it just works out of the box. That was something that I really liked about this gimbal. There is a port on the side to allow you to connect multiple video devices, and it allows buttery smooth kind of streaming between the two with 0 delay video output. So that's a nice little feature. I didn't have to bother with that because I have the Hero 4 Silver, so I have the screen on the back there so I can basically see what's going on. Another thing is this is designed for a GoPro, but with the calibration you can make it work for a lot of the other action cameras out there. It has to be that similar kind of design to the GoPro Hero, that kind of rectangular design, but you can make it work. I've tested it with a few other cameras and it seems to work really well. There are a lot of cameras out there that are designed to look like the GoPro with the same dimensions, so all of them work. You just need to put it in and make sure that you calibrate it to the weight of that action camera. Going from the Z1 Evolution to the Rider M, I can tell that they've really improved the overall experience of the gimbal. It's definitely a lot more stable than it ever has been. The motors are a lot more robust and they can kind of deal with some crazy situations compared to the Evolution, which in its own respect is still amazing. They're both great gimbals, but I can tell that they've improved with this model here, which is great. And the application is fantastic. They've updated it. It's a brand new app. It's a brand new thing for them. So it's great to see that they're changing the game. But like I said, I'd like to see a few updates there, and pretty much that's it, guys. It is a fantastic gimbal overall. If you're looking for a gimbal for a chest mount or for a tripod, or basically for any sort of GoPro accessory or any sort of tripod accessory or any accessory that has a 1/4-inch screw, this is a perfect gimbal for you. It's lightweight, it works really well, and the gimbal functionality, the actual motors and the controls within the actual motors, they're just fantastic, guys. It really works well. It's a great gimbal, and I'd love to know what you guys think in the comments below. I'd like to give a massive shout out to Zhiyun for sending this out. Also thank you to Ian from Aussie Tech for helping out with this video. Please make sure to have a fantastic day though, guys, and peace out.